what is like what are we doing? Like, what is happening?
Indeed, what the fuck is happening? This season was a waste of time. I just oh, hi everybody. What's up? Welcome to this after show, this season 2 finale, if you could even call it that. This was such a bad season. Like this is another case of TV shows really having really going down in quality from the first season to the second season. I mean, this is not the first time this has happened, but this is just another case. Like this season wasted our time, the viewers' time, well, got everybody here. So I'm going to be playing Elden Ring while everyone else is going to be discussing it because I don't even want to talk about this, but. Wow. Just for the sake of
way to sell it, way to keep the kids in chat.
Exactly. So, Miss Marmuses, how are you?
Oh, I'm a happy little camper because I was right. We were all right. There were only a few of us that were actually brave enough, perhaps, to say what we were thinking about this season.
Smart enough. Like been burned how many times?
The whole thing sucked. I don't know what the hell
was fucking.
It was terrible.
All right, yep. I'm going to be playing. Prophet, you're taking over. You're in command now. I'm just going to play my game.
Go ahead, Teresa. You go because you know the material. So,
well, we all know that they just spun their wheels the whole time. They totally tied it in with the ending of Game of Thrones.
How do they do that? How do they do that? It's like they oh my gosh. Like
the writers,
they showed the Daenerys stuff and did not everybody think at the same time? Oh, well, we all know how that went. Why are we tying it in?
What was this supposed to mean? Is he a warg now? Is Daemon a warg? Can I didn't see his eyes go white, like Bran's did.
That. Why would you you're right? What the hell? But
what was the point of that?
Why would you try and tie it into Game of Thrones?
They started that. I mean, this is once again, this is a Winds of Winter or maybe a Dream of Spring type of thing that they're trying to spoil. It's something new. It's to give the viewer something different, but it's bullshit.
Yeah. Well, you know what they had the nerve to say? They had the nerve to say, one of the writers, the lady said, he sees hope and it's Daenerys. And I'm like, what?
This was the most, and I said, this is like if Tori Amos wrote an episode of George R.R. Martin in our chat group. Brian, do you mind if I call out people in your chat because you got a decent amount of people?
All right, I'll take care of that.
Don't interrupt your game, okay?
I'm sorry. All right, we got Shield Wall of Dragons. What the fuck is this? Yes, Positive Candor, Snooze Festival finale, dude. Got the staple bro himself. What's up, Garbage?
Yes.
Gadfly doesn't even watch it. Thanks for being here, Gadfly. I don't even Jedi Machios, same. Miss Marn Muses, doing two things at once. And then we got Eldan, my Aussie bro. Yeah, it sucks. This whole thing sucks. All right. Salty, you take it away. You read the chat. I'm cool with that.
Okay. What the fuck is it? No, so this episode had and again from covering Wheel of Time, Steve, you remember what it's like. I could literally count off the check boxes they were hitting. We had a woman who was obviously like a man. I don't know who was more of a man, those Korean and Algerian boxers in the Olympics, or that they them that was the ship captain. I mean, there's your box tick there.
Was it a woman?
Then you got bad dad trope, and then Allison blaming the patriarchy for giving up her life to be the queen. And Teresa, I mean, am I overstating this?
No. Well, for one thing,
men suck.
Shiroko Lahar was a man. He was a great admiral, and they gender swapped, but I think they did a really weird gender swap because we know that it's being played.
A chick with a dick. That's what it
is. Is that literally a dude, basically?
Correct.
Actress or actor?
I know.
I don't know what to call
Yes, the actress is trans, and what they've done is they have combined Sharika Lahar with Rakalio Rendun, because that's the way Rakalio Rendun was in the books. Rakalio, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, but that was after the whole Dance of Dragons. So they took a man, a great admiral, and tried to mingle it with a totally different character, a pirate, and all of that. It's absurd, and it's as ridiculous as it looks. And that's supposed to be the great admiral at the Battle of the Gullet. I mean, they have totally jumped the shark.
I knew when I saw the writer or the director of this episode, it was some very foreign, exotic female name, and I'm like, oh, we're fucked. We're absolutely fucked.
Was it another case of no writing credits before this?
I didn't look it up because I don't care enough about these people or about this show, quite honestly. And, and again, I'm not going to make a qualifier on that. All of these fantasy shows are teaching us that if you're going to do your DEI hire, much like the Vice President of the United States, you're going to get DEI level quality shit. It doesn't matter where it is. Here we are. Steve, you look very patient, or like you're going to explode. Steve, you're muted, bro.
You're muted.
Steve, you're muted.
Sorry, sorry. It's shocking how bad this was. This is a season. This is you know what? We could talk about all the I don't tend to the DEI. It's all. I am a story guy. I know all that shit lends to all that, but this was a season finale. What a giant! It is possibly the worst season finale I have ever seen in my entire fucking life. It is horrible.
Even worse than Wheel of Time.
Yes, because at least something happened. Like Wheel of Time sucked. Nothing happened. Like it was built for season 3. That's all it was. It was a filler episode.
It was a filler season.
It was a filler episode for the next season of television as your finale. You didn't do. Why don't you? Hey, how about this? Why don't you? I don't know. Slow down a little bit, build up to the battle that we all wanted to see, and have that be your season finale instead of rushing through all that shit. And we don't get to see that battle. We don't get to see, and we have to go to Christian Cole sulking all of a sudden. What the hell was that jump cut? He's sitting on a log sniffing fucking Allison's cooch juice, and his brother goes, "How dare you sniff my sister's juice?"
And when did he even find that out? He found that out off screen.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It just completely jumps to us. Did we miss scenes? Where did the scenes go? And then on top of it, it's like Aemon has been dealt a blow. He is not invincible. It's like, did I miss something? When did that happen?
It didn't happen. Half this shit didn't happen. All of a sudden,
blow to his psyche. All of a sudden he fucking burns a place to the ground, and Renee's like, well, maybe I thought having more dragons might be a deterrent again.
You haven't done anything with him. You're just sitting there with your thumb up your ass.
It hasn't been a deterrent yet. It hasn't stopped anybody from doing anything yet. But maybe now. Oh wait, fucking Aemon burnt down another place. Well, fuck, I'm still not gonna do anything. No, it's like Jesus.
Aldan nails it. He says, "Bro, 8 episodes of blue balling."
Oh my god!
Well, not just blue balling. I put this on my Twitter. Everyone spoiled the ending. Kristen Cole spoiled his ending. The tree spoiled the ending. We've already had Alice spoiling the ending.
Helena spoiled some endings too. Yeah.
Helena spoiled the ending, and Laris spoiled the ending. So what? Who does that in their own show?
Watch
the ending of what?
Characters into spoiler assholes.
How can anyone say this? How can anyone? Go ahead.
The ending of the episode or the ending of the season? Because I think
the ending of the show, the entire Dragon. Season. What happens to every single character? They said it.
Yeah.
Oh, I must have dozed off because
Yeah.
or skipped because half the scenes I had to skip through because it's like, oh, I'm sitting once again. I've snuck into enemy territory and I'm now going
What
to have
the
a girl
fuck?
talk and we're gonna talk for 15 minutes and we're all gonna be like, I'm
But that was
sorry.
another
And it's like,
exposition dump.
who?
Alicent
and
in doing
of
that
course it wasn't
blamed the
even in the book.
patriarchy.
Can I
Yeah.
ask
It
you
was
guys something?
blaming the patriarchy to
shoot.
rationalize what she did.
Can I ask you
Sorry,
guys something?
Therese.
Did I miss it?
No.
Who has Otto Hightower?
Yeah, well, is he? I
Or
mean,
is he just-
what was
Yeah,
that?
what
Was
is
he
I
in
know,
prison?
well,
Is he
sort of.
smuggling himself away? What's going on? He
Well, it
was
looked like he
real.
was
He was
captured,
weird.
but by
It
who?
looked like he was behind
Why?
bars.
He-
Yeah,
Yeah, well, it's like they went into the future because spoiler, Rhaenyra is going to put him in. Well, she's actually going to behead him almost immediately when she takes King's Landing, but he's not in a cell yet, so I don't even know. And
Well, wait,
It's-
she takes King's Landing, then war's over. What's the problem? I don't understand. Well,
Well,
that we're getting ahead of
oh,
ourselves.
well, that's what makes the story so good, and what they're missing the point here by trying to make these good people, because what they're showing is. Hopefully, they're going to have the nerve to go there. That Rhaenyra sucks. So yes, she takes King's Landing, but can she keep it?
No.
She already sucks.
Yeah, so
She
she
does
sucks.
nothing but suck.
Yeah, so she's
It'll
going to
be
be the
getting
total
fucked.
suck. So I hope
Like-
that's what.
Hey, let me ask you something, real quick. Since we built up all this drama, who thought Damon was going to do anything but bend the knee to Rhaenyra
I thought he was going to say, "I'm sorry, it's all my fault."
and start licking
That's
her
what I was
fucking
waiting
twat
for.
right there, right? Yeah, I thought she was just going
It
to go
was-
right up under there.
we all saw
It's-
it. Yeah,
I mean,
It's this feminist,
well,
literally
well, and
feminist.
like her
word.
line, am I missing something? Have I watched the wrong show? Her line, if you ever leave me again, you sent him. That was
Yes.
his job. His
Yeah.
job was to get Harrenhal and to get the Rivermen. What do you mean you left him?
These-
And
She
not-
and
went
not just
there
that-
to do that.
have brain damage. These writers have brain damage, and if this is the modern audience, that means the modern audience is vax injured
Am
or
I
is
wrong,
so
though?
fucking retarded.
Damon was
I'm
in
retarded.
Harrenhal for her.
How even if you're
Damon
on
was
your
the one who
phone-
crowned her for crying out loud in the first season.
yes,
yeah.
Like he
I mean,
went.
crying
He's
out
like,
loud.
I'm like before the other kid died, which good lucky for him, he's out of this shit. Like before he died and she abandoned her post for the first time, he was going to Harrenhal. Then they came back and they had this stupid thing happen, which never would have happened. And then they come back from that and he goes, well, I'm gonna go to Harrenhal like I was going to raise an army for you. Right?
Yeah, that's what happened at
Yeah.
the very beginning, and he was already fighting in her name. And well, we should have been seeing in episode 3 because at the Battle of
Jesus
Burning Mill.
Christ.
it's we've talked now that we're at the end after 8 episodes of this, and I don't fault anybody, and Brian, you know that we talked offline. I would have never imagined when we finished the finale of season 1 that here at the end of finale of season 2 that we would be left with this.
This is acolyte shit.
This is took 2 years. This fucking series took 2 years to produce. What the
Dude,
hell did they do for
dude.
2 years?
I don't.
And
Oh
Go
god,
ahead,
we are
Steve.
literally like how.
Like, where did that
stupid
money
the
go? Where
audience is.
did all that money go? Did the dragon suck
it's
up
a
all that money?
incoherent
dragon.
it's a incoherent narrative.
Okay,
It has
but real quick-
completely taken all the beats from the books, like Miss Martin has said, and missed it entirely to make the story interesting. The characters keep repeating themselves, like Teresa has said over and over, like it's a soap opera, and you're
Mhm.
taking care of a kid or you're loading a dishwasher. And I kept expecting commercials for Calgon or women's feminine pads, because this is literally like what you'd see on daytime television, only with dragons once in a
Daytime
while.
television is better than this.
Can I ask you something?
Okay, Springer, yeah. I'll
the
take Springer.
whole sheep fucker or whatever that dragon's name is. Do
Sheep
we
stealer.
believe any of that? I'm gonna call him sheep fucker. I don't care because
That
it's all
works for
bullshit.
me.
It doesn't match
Okay.
anything in the book, so we need to just start making. I haven't read the book, but we need to start calling all these people by different names because they're all fucking idiots. So we're to believe that this girl who got kicked out of the Vale because Rhaenyra abandoned her and didn't do what said she was going to do. Again, good job, Rhaenyra. Again, sends her to the Vale. She gets kicked out of the Vale.
How did she get kicked out of the Vale? I don't even remember that.
Because the dragons didn't. Because the dragon didn't come, right?
No. The plan was always that the boys were going to be sent to Pentos, Aegon and Viserys. So that was the plan. And
where's the Vale?
Rhaena was supposed to stay in the Vale. Sorry?
Oh, Rhaena was supposed to stay in the Vale?
Yes, because here's the deal. Aegon and Viserys, they're a lot older in the books. So they're already, one of them's, Aegon's already flying his own dragon. So there was none of that kicking them out. But the thing is that because they were the heirs of Rhaenyra, so in the show, they did have it that the boys were going to be sent away. They weren't being kicked out. They were being sent to a safe place. And in the show, Rhaena was supposed to accompany them because they're giving her role to Aegon. Not only have they taken away Nettles, they're giving Aegon's role to her. But then the little bitch goes AWOL. So she can't even defend her own toddlers. So that was the plan. But the show fucked around with Jane Eyre, probably causing that confusion, Prophet of the Dragon, because of the way it looked.
Well, because I
don't care about it. Like, I didn't read the books like Teresa did. I've been relying on her interpretive scholarship of the text with this. And then I use that as a baseline to see what's going on screen. But even stripping that out, I've said it for the last 4 episodes, I would never watch a show like this. I would never, I would have turned this fucking shit off after episode 2. And the only reason I've done it is I wanted to cover it with my friends. But this show it's not entertaining.
Well,
I don't care who lives and who dies. I just want it to be over so I can play Dead Red Redemption.
Well, it's like because you're like, so I'm confused. So I thought the way that I knew they were getting the kids, supposed to be getting the kids to safety. So the way it felt like the show was playing it off was that they sent the kids with the other chick. I still don't know her name, and I don't care, to the Vale, because that was because the Vale lady is basically expecting protection from the dragons. So I thought the show was setting up that they were there getting under their protection, hiding, because that's what she requested the dragon for. So regardless, it's time for them to leave. So they leave, and she just goes, "Nah, I'm not going to watch the kids anymore. I'm going to walk around in the wilderness, where I have no supplies, no gear, no survival skills at all. Nobody notices I'm gone. They just let me fuck off. I have been walking around the wilderness enough that I am so quenched for thirst that I have to go and just I run to a river, a stream, and drink like I haven't drank. I'm in a desert." And then the end of the episode is like, "Oh my god, it's a dragon!" It's like, what?
Well, they're pulling it out of their butts that at the last minute she's going to go and swoop down and save the boys in the whole sea thing, the Battle of the Gullah. And what happens with them happens at the same time. That's why they're pulling it out of their butt. But the whole thing is, because they decided to cut Nettles and give it to Rhaena, they had to pull it out of their butt that she's wandering through the wilderness, because that's the only way she could find fucking Sheep Stealer and then be there at the last second to save everything. We got to wait 2 years for it, but that's the whole point. We got to wait 2 years for anything.
This show, again, it was checkbox after checkbox. We had the bad dad trope with the guy who's telling his dad what a bad dad he was. The 2 black guys, and one of those characters I used to really like from season 1. He's fucking useless now. It's clumsy, it's ham-fisted, and it does not belong in a fantasy show. But we've been saying this for what now? 6 years. I don't know how anybody out there, regardless of channel size, unless you're a fucking cock-chugging shill, can praise this show. I can understand maybe being neutral about it if you don't know the source material. But empirically speaking, the scripting is terrible. The character development is absolutely fucking terrible. Where have the stakes been in any of this. What are they fighting for? What are they doing? What tension has been built? Because whenever there's like this much fucking tension built, we got to have two bitches in a hallway being passive aggressive, or Damon's got to talk to that crazy Irish witch bitch, and then everything's just fucking like Prozac, Zoloft, heroin, stupid. It just kills my boner. All right, well,
I thought here's the other thing. Just objectively speaking, the fact that Allison keeps fast traveling and Rhaenyra keeps fast traveling all over to all these places when they have this dangerous civil war happening. And it's just like they can just decide. It's like Skyrim.
What's
like,
civil war? There's a civil war
going
on? I had no idea.
England has more violence going on in it than the show with fucking dragons. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
By the way, I just beat a boss, so I'll be one of those tree guardians.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Speaking of video games,
Elden Ring.
I didn't even listen to the whole thing with Rhaenyra. My personal assistant was here. She was running a little late tonight, and it was on. She's never seen the show, and I'm just like, I don't even want to listen to what those two chicks are saying. I said it's like a soap opera. She said, like, yeah, they're just sitting there talking at each other. She hadn't even seen the show.
Feelings and corridors, basically. It's the same same song and dance.
It is war at this point between them. She is doing everything to save her children. They even set that up in season 1 with Alicent, where Alicent told Aegon, you are the threat. You are the threat. Because as long as you are alive and any of our children are alive. So they were setting that up. And now she's like killing her own children. She's betrayed them.
Mm-hmm.
Is this from the book? I got to ask that because it didn't feel like it, because you could tell by the lazy ass writing. Like, what do I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but this is why I'm not covering these shows. And I don't watch shows like this anymore, because you know what you're going to get. And it's not even heartbreak. It's just condescension from people who literally are not even half as smart as they think they are, and yet they think they're much smarter than you because they're putting messages in this fucking genre. And
they think they're smarter than George Martin.
Well, did you see Condon's name was before George R.R. Martin's name, as far as credits for the show, which to me, that means greater than 50% came from Condon, not from Martin. And that is why we've endured this 8+ episode. It would be like if I was waiting, like, having my car worked on, like if I was getting new brakes or new tires or something, or transmission work, and I was trapped in a repair shop fucking waiting room, and they had some shitty soap opera up in the corner. Okay. And I can't go anywhere, and there's no magazines, and I have to listen to this boring, droning shit of things I don't care about. And that is what it's felt like for the last 6 episodes.
So Salty, does that mean you're not going to watch any more House of the Dragon? Is this you're calling it quits now?
I'm out. I'm gonna turn Amish. I'm gonna go change my name to Yoder. I'm gonna go find some big bush Amish chick and hang out. And I'm done. I'm pulling the plug there, Bri. I'm
Wait,
done.
Did you say your name's gonna be Yoder?
Why not?
Okay, well, I have a cave
Yoder
with my
Steiner.
name on it.
I'll be salty. I'll be salty Yodel. Let's see.
Oh my god. Well. Well, here's the whole thing. What's supposed to be going on with Rhaenyra and Alicent, which would be badass. Remember, I've used the analogy. It's like Mary Queen of Scots versus Queen Elizabeth I, right? That's the kind of antagonism that should be between the two. And when Rhaenyra comes, spoiler, and goes into King's Landing, I mean, she is her prisoner. They could have had a great confrontation scene, because they do actually have that is recorded at the gates of King's Landing, but no, they have to go for feelings because they want to try to make them friends when it is so much more interesting for them to have been antagonists.
Yes, it's like, I mean, just like it's just like you don't want to make something good anymore. You don't want to make it compelling. Like what I don't even know what I watched. Like I was just somebody. I think it was Alex brought up on in our little chat that we have. he brought up the movie Airplane. I made an airplane joke. I said, "Airplane, what's that?" "Oh, it's a movie with tits, but that's not important right now." That's how bored I was. And this was during the scene with Allison and Rhaenyra having another conversation. I'm like, just kill her or arrest her. There were people, there were witnesses. The witnesses would have said something. The witnesses probably would have told one of the council, and they would have taken her in or something. This is stupid. This is stupid. People don't act this way.
At a certain point, and it's part of why I stopped kind of covering a lot of shit, which isn't pop culture, because popular culture means it's popular within our culture. Okay, the shit that we're getting and have been getting for years is not popular. Okay, there's been exceptions. You had Wolverine, you had Top Gun, you had a couple pretty decent things come out. But with shows like this, at the end of the day, I've said this before, I'm responsible for what I consume and put into my psyche and into my soul and into my emotional state. And it really feels like watching things like this takes away from my joy for living. Okay. And I'm not saying that to be facetious, but it would be different, Teresa, and you tell me what you think about this. If it was a coherent, decent narrative, if there were ups and downs, if it kind of did this and they're like, oh my God, that was so cool. But never once in 8 episodes have I been on the edge of my seat for even half of an episode. It's been a couple of minutes where I'm like, oh shit, that's kind of cool. And then it's like a kick in the balls. And then they're back to bitches talking in hallways about Felix.
I did not rewatch any of the episodes. I mean, I sent you, Salty. I sent you the link, and you're like, "Oh shit, I forgot about this." That shows you how. That shows you how uninterested you are. Or you forgot that this show was
playing Red Dead 2, eating my barbecue chicken like a boss, and I'm like, oh fuck, I gotta do this again. And it's not because of Brian and Steve and Teresa, it's because I investing an hour and 20 minutes into this show, in just about anything on streaming right now, quite honestly, there's no return on the investment of your life.
No,
there's none, other than heartbreak or you're getting propagandized. And the only thing I can do is to not consume it. And I don't. And it's jarring, and I've said it before, to watch shit like this, to be forced to sit in front of a screen and watch things this poorly written, and in some cases throughout the season, this poorly acted, where I don't even know why did this take 8 episodes? Like, I don't know why, like, I don't care about anything that's happening.
This should have been maybe 2 episodes.
Yeah,
we could have did this.
Maybe if even.
Alex said it could have been in 2.5 hours. You could have crammed all this shit in there.
Yeah,
he's right.
This is literally a waste. Like, there was no story to tell. Like, why did they think that 4 seasons was enough for this story? This story could have been done in 2. Like, this should have been the last season.
Well, I'll say 3 seasons, because I had laid out how it was supposed to go if they had done it correctly, where this would have ended with the season finale would have been the taking of King's Landing, and then season 3 would have been everything that happens in King's Landing and everything. Well, they spoiled it. They spoiled everything in tonight's episode, so I can just say it. They all die, and I can't wait to see it happen.
The time jumps in season 1, I think we would have welcomed the time jumps in season 2. It was hard to follow, but we're not talking about going from little girl to a different actress. You could have jumped around and moved this goddamn thing along, but it was it just felt like 80% of this episode were just made up inane conversations among liberal arts college students, among women, young liberal women who maybe went to college within the last 5 years. Is that a terrible thing to say? No, it's an objectively critical statement based upon what I saw on the screen, about how the characters were written, and about what they chose to prioritize in doing when they interpreted George R.R. Martin's world. They did not make it about the intricacies of anything or building relationships between people over time. It's just, we need a scene with a conversation, and how can we work in this checklist, this item, bad dad, let's have somebody turn gay. There was no point to the fucking, all this time I put into watching this goddamn show, and I'm never going to watch shit like this ever again. I mean, I'm listening to Coast AM radio with Art Bell instead of watching streaming shows. And in many cases, instead of watching what's on fucking YouTube, because I just don't give a shit to listen to people bitch about fucking Disney anymore or fucking Star Wars. It's like, guys, it's fucked. It's never going to come back, you know? And that's a hardcore take to say, and it's not directed at anybody on the show, but I genuinely do not give a fuck anymore. I'm going to go live my life. And I guess I'm really upset because this reminds me and validates why I fucking walked away from this shit.
Yeah.
It's
well, I'll tell you
dumb.
what. I have become a happier camper because I've listened to the Vikings. Steve, he told me, go backwards. There's a lot of really, really good
100%.
stuff. That...
100%.
What'd you say? I'm sorry?
I said 100%.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
100%.
I was.
It was a validation. Sorry.
I mean, at first I was like,
Hallelujah.
did he say? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, my fault. I didn't hear correctly, but I was in the middle of my thought. But it's For example, there's lots of really good things like V, the miniseries from the 80s.
Yeah.
There's stuff
Oh,
from the
I want to
70s.
see that. I've heard good
And
things about that show.
There's
Oh,
tons of
you
good
dude,
stuff.
you've got to. It was a phenomenon.
I
You see,
remember it on
that's
TV.
the kind of stuff
Yeah.
we should be doing and making ourselves happier people. As far as
Exactly.
books go, I've been reading the old Forgotten Realms ones from the 80s because I missed out on that. I was reading Lost in the Prairie and Flowers in the Attic in the 80s. So it's like, go backwards and find your joy.
Bingo.
Sorry. You know what else is really good that I started watching with my buddy Angry Canadian? The original Shogun. The original Shogun, I think, is better than
It's
the Hulu
good.
show because the
Absolutely.
original show, the entire point of view of that Shogun with Richard Chamberlain, it's from their point of view. It's from his point of view. The Japanese, you don't see subtitles. Like, we don't know what they're saying unless you have a translator. So the Japanese are just like, we don't see their point of view at all. And I actually find that more fascinating than what we actually got.
Yeah,
So
I love it. The miniseries.
I just
Lace,
rewatched it.
Which one of you bitches is my mother? I mean, come on. There's a lot of chick stuff too, but yes, the original Shogun was amazing, and that just blew me away with Richard Chamberlain. I mean, what an
He's
actor!
so great.
Yeah,
What
and
an
the
actor.
and the whole thing of like the woman Mariko or something, she's not a girl boss. She is more accurate to how women in Japan, especially of that time period, were portrayed. So I mean, like, she wasn't always there. Like when she was there, when she was summoned, she was there. But when she was no longer needed, she left. She wasn't always in the room like she was in the Hulu show. So,
but she had to make sandwiches.
Yeah, and then you have freaking John Rhys Davies in that show too.
Yeah,
he's
awesome.
such a badass.
Yes.
I loved seeing him in that.
I didn't realize it, but he played the same character as the guy from Lost, the one that calls him Inglés. Inglés, hey Inglés, get over here. You know, I love that guy.
Yeah. What we're looking for, they're not going to give us, and they're not giving it to us intentionally. With current modern day entertainment, and we were lucky. I actually liked 2 movies that came out this year. I saw 2 movies in the theater. I saw A Quiet Place Part 3. Can't recommend enough. I really enjoyed it, and I saw Wolverine and Deadpool.
I heard certain Steve really enjoyed that one, so I should see it myself.
So here's the thing: it's not a movie. It's a series of scenes stitched together with really shitty cringe writing that borrows from Disney Plus shows. But if you ignore that and you can don't take a piss or go play video games and come back for when it's just Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, it's a great movie. But
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. According to Christie's in the chat, now she's one of those that has been from the very beginning, even in season 1, has been warning people about this, and now she's validated because again, everyone was saying, even in my comments on my latest video last week, they were saying, oh, but this show is still good because it's not connected with Game of Thrones. This show's so good because look at them, they're crapping on Game of Thrones. I'm like,
Not really.
just wait. Well, because for one thing, people have been coping with that because they're thinking kind of like what some of the people are thinking about Star Wars is going to erase the sequel series. They thought that,
Nope.
I know it's bullshit, but there are people like that really have hope about this. And I was saying very nicely to the people in my chat because I had seen the leaked episode scenes. I said, well, come back to me after you see season episode 8 of this season, because not only are they going to connect it, I didn't spoil them, but I said not only have they connected it to Game of Thrones, they have literally said Daenerys is the hope.
Yeah.
She's the hope. And they totally took all agency from Daemon rather.
Yeah. I mean, did they just forget? I mean, the viewers did not forget what Daenerys did. You know, she's not the hope.
And season 8 of Game of Thrones is the most notorious disaster on the planet.
And it took them 2 years. Another example of taking more time. You know, you'd think, you know, that the more time they take, the better it is. No, that's actually the opposite case. Seems like they have to work under pressure in order to produce something good.
Brian, can you jump to Outlaw Bill's comment? Because I agree 100%, Mr. Outlaw Bill.
Give this episode an F and the season a D-.
Agreed.
No, that's
I agree. I agree. And not because I'm a hateful asshole who's black-filled. It's because I have standards. Those standards have not been affected by the dog shit we've been getting since 2016. I don't come into shows hating things. I really gave this show a whole bunch of latitude because I thought episode 1 was really weak. Episode 2, I was like, come on, you got to get better. And by episode 3, I'm like, yep, this is dog shit. And it was heartbreaking. And every episode since, it's just, I could literally, I feel like I get up, I could drive to the grocery store, do some shopping, come down and sit down, and then just watch the last 2 minutes. And I wouldn't have missed anything fucking important for an hour. Steve, what do you think?
Yeah, where's Steve? Where are you? Steve is
Steve, get
in off the race. I'll tell you what, I was yapping with my mama, and I'm gonna be visiting her in a few weeks, her and my dad, and she wants to watch it, and she is completely not involved. She's legally blind, so she just doesn't get into all this online stuff. She's not spoiled at all. And she told me, is it worth watching season 2? And I said no, because she's been hearing me kind of bitch about it. And she said, okay, what do you say when you come here? We'll watch the first episode and I'll tell you honestly what I think, not knowing anything. And so I decided, okay, that's a deal. So I can't wait to hear what she says as someone literally going in blind. Because last year I had to actually describe to her when Rhaenys burst through the dragon pit. She's like, what's going on? I'm like, Rhaenys just burst through the dragon pit on her dragons and peasants are flying everywhere. And she was like, what the hell? I mean, it's absurd. And, you know, I think that I even forgave a little bit. It's like, okay, these 3 things kind of sucked in season 1, but most of season 1 was really good. Maybe it was because of Viserys. But, oh my gosh, it is just one disaster after another. And we are marching straight toward Game of Thrones, and that's why Daemon changed. But are they trying to make Daemon a good person? Are they trying to cut? I don't know what they're trying to do with
Who
Daemon.
are these characters? But Teresa, again,
who? And here's the thing: without Nettles, I guess, is he not going to cheat on her? I mean, I don't even know what's going to happen. They said they wanted to make it about their marriage. You can't make it about their marriage. He was a groomer. And he's her uncle. These are not people you're supposed to be moved by.
But there's no consistency in these characters yet again. And it's like Whiplash. You know, I mean, I don't know who Daemon is. Like, he was tripping balls like he was on a DMT trip like seeing machine elves with that witch in the castle, none of which was fucking written. None of it's all just made up horseshit from the writers and Ryan, whatever that bitch's
Ryan fucking
asshole's
Condo.
name.
Yeah. Do you know how
Thank
many
you, Brian.
times in the behind the scenes scene they were like, we thought this, we thought that. They are totally channeling Benioff and Wise. And if people don't admit that, they owe Benioff and Wise a huge apology for every nasty thing they said about them, because these guys are just saying the same thing. We thought this, we thought that. It's like, you didn't write this. This is not the story. It's not your character. It's not, these aren't your characters. Pretending it is.
It's Rafe Judkins level dog shit. Only this has a better polish than the first 2 seasons of Wheel of Time. And
you can polish a turd, but it's still a turd.
It is a turd. And it's, again, I'm not mad at the show. I am just, again, in shocked horror at the amount of money that was spent on this and how this could have been what a Game of Thrones was, with a competent 80% accurate adaptation of the important themes based on the actual character actions within the source material.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, we get this.
Yep. I'm just
got a super there, Brian.
Oh, all right. Well, we got a super. Well, thank you. $5, according to Christy, for $5 whole. Oh, poor Aegon though. The whores are weeping. Yeah, we had to learn that his little sausage went popped.
That was horrifying. The emasculation of all of this. Is that book accurate, Teresa, or no?
Well, none of that scene actually happened, but of course, dialogue is not in the book. It's written like a history book. Right. It is realistic because he was completely burned, and the way he looks in the show. So of course, it's probable that his dick was gone. I don't know, but again, that is an invention. We just know that he was.
So he didn't have any more kids. He didn't.
Oh, no. Well, here's the thing. Remember, Helena went batshit crazy after the blood and cheese in the book. So, and it said it specifically in the book that they had nothing to do with each other after that. They would never shared the same bed. And Aemon Aegon was drunk all the time.
Okay. All right.
It's supposed to be batshit crazy, not going around going, "Oh, Aemon, quit making me try to fly on Dreamfire."
But this really was another feminist it was castration. They delighted in making anyone who was a male, and I'm talking about a born male, not the made up dumb mental illness horseshit agenda stuff. In talking about having their penis burned off. Like somebody somewhere, and I'm gonna get really fucking angry, thought that was a great fucking idea to put in this show. And that to me is disgusting, because it's torture porn. And it served no fucking purpose for the narrative. But we could sit there and have all these women are virtuous, but they're fucking immoral and they're weak and they're fucking stupid and they're fucking traitors, and we're supposed to care about any of them.
No way.
Fuck this timeline. I really want to go back to the 90s or the early 2000s. Because all of this fucking world sucks. And that's not blackpilled. That's fucking reality. Okay?
Yeah,
I'm paying for this streaming service just to watch the show. I'm an asshole for that. Never again.
You know, I was just watching a couple episodes this weekend of Star Trek Deep Space Nine, and I really I'm totally with you, Salty. I miss the 90s. I miss when, shows were written with competence and were written with characters in mind, and it was easy to get invested. It was easy to basically try and grasp what was going on. Because I mean, even now with Star Trek, with New Trek, sorry, that's not Star Trek. Yeah. They're trying to make a Section 31 movie, and they don't even understand the point of Section 31 that was depicted in Deep Space Nine. They don't exist. They are not there. They do missions, but they don't exist. Like they're plausibly denied by everybody.
Brian, I didn't send you this, but I'm sure you saw it, that they're going to make a live-action, diverse comedy, stand-up situation comedy based on Starfleet. Did you see that?
I heard something like that. I was hoping
this is going to happen.
Bullshit.
How? What? How? Discovery?
It's like they're desperate for anything, so they're just throwing any shit at the wall. I mean,
Christy, I'm usually a pirate too, but in this case, I couldn't get to it in time because the episodes were delayed and I needed to watch it to do the streaming on it. So you owe me fucking money, Nerdboreal, for watching this fucking show.
Or for therapy or something. Well,
Well,
hey, I'm going on a cruise
That's
in
the
a
point.
few
That's the
weeks,
point of
so-
this. That's the point of the stream. The stream is therapy, like bigger channels have said in the past. So
yeah. Oh, Jeannie Mac, dude, that was Woodburn. I used you need to make a Manhattan on my behalf because
I will.
Yeah.
I have a bunch more bourbon. This is the studio bourbon, but I've got much better
Woodburn's
stuff.
the best,
like
so it's
in the
Knob
other-
Creek. But I digress. No, but for
Knob
real, I'm
Creek.
going on a cruise. This is I lost my cat. I had a big surgery post cruise, so I'm going to
sorry.
be on the ocean for a week, and I bought the spa pass. And I know you all are dudes, so you don't understand that.
No,
but that means
go ahead.
from morning to evening, I am going to be in the spa, just sitting there
nice.
in steam
awesome.
and hot tub and
Good for you.
mocktails and lavender and fuck this fucking world.
Listen to this.
Nice.
Someone
Wow.
clip that. I'm going to clip this and I'm going to use this like on a live stream.
Yeah.
But Teresa, what you just said, I don't want to use their language, but it's not empowering. It's essentially saying I'm removing my consent. I'm going to live my life as much as they allow me before World War III starts or whatever fucking horseshit the globalists have planned, because they do. And it's like, fuck off, And I don't know if it's because maybe it's being Gen X and it's like every day we grew up with the nuclear apocalypse all through the 70s and the 80s. We're all going to die. They told us that every fucking day as kids, that we're just so hardcore now. It's like I wake up every day and I'm like, oh cool, no mushroom clouds. I'm gonna do my job and I'm gonna eat really good food and healthy and I'm gonna go for a fucking walk and then I'm gonna listen and do things only that I care about and that bring joy to my life. And then I read shit on Twitter and I read about what's going on our political spectrum. I can't control it, but what I can control is not putting in poisonous, demoralizing, propagandized shit that claims to be an escape or fantasy. I'm not consuming anything like that anymore. I'm not going to let it poison me. No more, And I'm not going to listen to those asshole liar grifter fucks that are the big guys who are the cool kids, because it's been really obvious to me for a couple of years now. First of all, they don't know fucking half of what they pretend to about most of the IPs that they're talking about. And second of all, they're farming your rage, and you thinking you sending them big fucking super chats is winning the culture war? It's a fucking grift, guys. Go outside, read a good book like Teresa says, play video games like Brian. Fuck those big cool kids. Sorry, I had to do that because I don't fucking
talking
care.
about me like that, Salty Traveling. That's really rude.
What? That you're a big guy?
I kept talking about big, fancy people. Yeah, no. Well, I can tell you this: when you learned about the Desert Fathers in the church, the guys that just decided they were going to go out into the desert and be with God all alone. I now know the truth. They were where I am right now, and they're like, screw the world. I'm going to the desert. I'm going to a cave.
Who, Saint Anthony or something?
Saint Anthony in the desert, or Saint Kevin out of Glendalough.
Yes.
Even though he had a monastery there, he's like, I'm going to go to that cave across the mountain. It's like, they couldn't stand people anymore. I mean, I now know why people became nuns and went behind convent walls.
Yes.
I'd be
this
there
is why
too
I
if
left the big city.
Yeah, if I could still have Wi-Fi, and video games, but Carmelites don't do that.
I want to say hello to member Admiral Teague. What's up, sir? Thanks for dropping by. I know you've been covering House of Dragon yourself. This season was a waste of time.
Yeah,
it was a waste of time.
And another big Trek fan, so definitely check out his channel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my mama was one of the OGs. She used to watch that in the 60s in the college dorm, and she just is disgusted with what they're doing with Star Trek nowadays. I mean,
Yeah.
I would,
Ugh.
maybe. I'd love to talk. I love talking original Star Trek. Maybe me and your mom should talk original Trek. I love it.
That would be amazing.
I don't know.
Maybe record a video.
I don't know if my mom will do it,
Maybe that
but
will.
yeah, she's they're still boomers, but no, she'll sometimes show up in the chat in that like where I'll type on her behalf on like other things. But yeah, but it's just she and my dad, you know, that's one of the things that they were nerds together, and it's just like Star Trek was so original that
Important.
It
it was
was
important. It's changing, and it shows that you don't necessarily have to have great production values. Like I can watch an original Trek, and obviously, it looks like the kind of things I used to film in my living room when I was a kid. But it doesn't matter. Those kind of things are window dressing. Now, House of the Dragon, what they're doing is everything is beautiful to look at. The costumes are great, the actors are great, the CGI is great. But if you don't have a story, it's shit.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, they had to the Next Generation, even the original series. I mean, each season had over 25 episodes, like, and they had to come up with. I mean, they had a limited budget. They had a very limited budget, and they had to They had to use their brains. They had to write stuff that had, they had to put up ideas, and their ideas were made great stories and made, I watched 2 episodes of Deep Space Nine. I watched the one about the Section 31 Inquisition, and I watched what's considered to be the best one ever, In the Pale Moonlight, where Cisco literally becomes a villain to try to end the war, because the war with the Dominion is the backdrop of season 6, and probably it might be the best season of that show. And it's just, you're watching it and you're just so invested in what's going on, and it's just the writing, the acting is just so unforgettable. And and the thing is, and I said this earlier today on another stream, I am willing to let go of, I mean, the stuff that I like, and I'm with you, Salty, on this, the stuff that I like is gone. It's not coming back. Well, and I mean, like Guinan in Best of Both Worlds, I am willing to let it go. I mean, I'll still watch. You have to. I'll still watch the old stuff. I will still appreciate the old stuff. The old stuff is timeless to me. But anything new now, no. I mean, they've completely lost me. And as far as I'm concerned, Hollywood is just they're not going to last if they keep this up.
Well, they will. They will, because the economy is going to be crashed, and then they're going to go to CBDs, and then all their debt will be forgiven. Ours won't. And the reward for propagandizing and demoralizing and deconstructing all of Western civilization, and I've been saying this shit for 3 fucking years, is that they're going to be floated by these digital bank currencies, and they're just going to keep propagandizing us. It's a fucking scam. It just is. There are no more conspiracy theories, not after what happened in Butler, Pennsylvania, and there's not anymore. I want to say hello to
the
Purple
Olympics,
Valkyrie.
what they did in the Olympics. That's the other thing. I mean,
it's sick.
Humiliation rituals. Sick. That's what they're doing.
That's what it is.
And it's I don't want to talk conspiracy theories. I don't want you to lose your channel here, but there's obviously powers far more powerful, far more money than we have.
Economic Forum, World Health Organization. I mean, all these cocksuckers. Yeah, they're out in the open now. They had to show their faces because they missed in Butler, Pennsylvania, and they're shit in the bed now.
Yeah.
See you later, Purple.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, but I like that sometimes people say that George R. R. Martin, for example, is a little bit nihilistic. I don't think he's nihilistic, but
no, I don't think
he has a very realistic view. He writes what I call what Tolkien saw in human history. He was like, human history is one long defeat. Of course, for Tolkien, that's how I see it as well. History is one long defeat, and we are in that one long defeat. Though Tolkien had a little more hope because he was a believer in eternal life, so yay. But that Christ would be king and all that stuff, but we're not going there. But George R. R. Martin very well writes history, fake history, as one long defeat, and people being realistic. I mean, there's very few truly good people in his stories. They do pop up now and then, but usually they're the average people. They're the people that they would meet across the street, the people that they would meet in the villages. But these power players, royalty, history, it
Yeah.
is inevitably bad. And trying to make these people moral in this story is falling apart because
Agreed.
it's just not his vision, I guess. It's very hard to articulate it, but
It makes a lot of sense. You're not portraying them as, in some cases, being, well, they're always victims of their own actions or inactions or any of the 7 deadly sins that they have, which is why they're the deadly sins, where there's avarice, greed, gluttony,
Pride.
like jealousy. I mean, those are the things that launch conflict. They launch it interpersonally, and they launch it on a global or fantasy continent-wide scale. And those are entirely gone, Teresa, in this. It's just ambivalent, nothing.
Yeah, even Damon. What does Damon have? What changes him? A vision from beyond. That is the antithesis of the way George looks at things.
Yeah.
They basically brought in God, for lack of a better term. A Deus ex machina that just yanked Damon from everything this season and makes him go, Rhaenyra. Oh.
Of course, it's another white woman. I love how fucking morons. Are we going to wrap this up? We've been about an hour.
Yeah, we are. Is there anything? You want to plug? We'll start with Miss Martin Muses. By the way, guys, thanks for being here. Definitely check out my panelists' channels. Definitely check out Emerald Teague. And trying to see, is anyone else a member? Oh, some guy named Prophet of the Dragon. Yeah. That guy too. Where are you, Steve? Oh, Gadfly Fiction too. Definitely Gadfly, gentleman, scholar. Had the honor to meet him earlier. So yeah, Miss Mara Muses, Teresa, what's going on with you?
Well, I have a lot of videos based on the lore coming up. One just actually dropped about the whole sheep stealer, and also more Tolkien will be coming up because we do have some Rings of Power. I'm still on the fence if I'm going to be watching it and reviewing it. I'm planning to talk about it, and I might do it on other people's channels. I don't know, but definitely stay tuned for Tolkien content because he, of course, is the master, as George R. R. Martin calls him, and his writing is so rich. And I'm going to be going more into his letters and his lore, and maybe more fun things, maybe some cat videos. My cat is currently on drugs completely. He is on kitty cat Valium, and I have filmed the funniest things of him, so maybe just watch my cat being high.
Cat videos kick ass. Definitely put up a cat video.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
High as a kite.
All right, what about you, Salty? What's going on with you? I like a lot of your your recent content. Just keep doing it.
You like the memes and music, the political stuff. I've had people bitch me out and say, if every day's a living hell, then that's your problem. And like, I've been watching your channel for 3.5 years, and I just and it's like, guys, I appreciate it. It's supposed to be ironic. It's supposed to make fun of the reality and the time that we're living in. I'm not sitting in here with a Luger in my mouth. I'm not. All right. Like, that's not what's happening. I'm trying to point out how absurd this all is. And I think you can see by some of the things that are going on around the world right now, that like, if it doesn't feel like it makes sense to you, you're not alone. So I don't know. I don't know what to say. Like, find something good and lasting and old to believe in, because what's about to happen is not going to have any of those things. Just going to say that. Thanks for having me on, Brian. I fucking hate you for making me watch this goddamn show, though. Okay?
So a moment of silence, everybody. This is Salty's last episode of House of the Dragon. So
yeah, fuck this show.
All right, there you go. Mantra. All right, Steve, what's going on with you?
Oh, not much. Same old.
So I saw your you put up a video today about the possibility that Wheel of Time season 4 may not be greenlit. So tell us about it.
Hopefully, it's just straight up canceled. Boom.
I hope so.
if they're actually going to be judging on view numbers instead of just guessing or acting like the views actually are there, then it looks like it's going to be canceled. So there you go. So we might have a small victory there. Hopefully, unfortunately, this show isn't going to be canceled after this, since they've already did nothing but set up season 3 in the finale for fucking season 2.
Now, did they confirm season 4, Teresa?
Season 4 of what?
For House of the Dragon.
Well, they've confirmed season 3 for sure. That's going ahead and going to start filming. But I know that the plan is to have 4 seasons, so they're going to do it. They get good ratings.
Yeah, they'll get there for it. People will fake like this. I mean, look, it's beautiful. That's about it. It looks good.
People, like
if you watch,
people want to like this. That's the thing. People want to like this,
and then they do everything they can to make you fucking hate it and go, "Why did you do this?" I mean, if you watch the show without the sound on, I guess you could love the show.
Yeah. No, they just stand still. All they do is stand still, and
there's nothing going on. It was
nothing.
It was terrible.
Like Days of Our Lives. That's what they do on Days of Our Lives. They walk past each other. They have shots over the shoulder. That's all. That's what
Days of Our Lives is, I think, better than this.
Oh well, yeah, Days of Our Lives. Yeah, I've been.
It's like sand through the hourglass. So are the days of Steve's lives.
Wow! Check Brian out. Wow.
What?
True story.
No, you're just you're dropping this like soap opera inflection of the original, the OG opening, and I'm like, that's the impact of effective entertainment, is that going cross generations so that you can say that, and all of us know exactly, we know what the emotion is, we know what the music is.
Yeah,
I don't think anybody's going to do that for House of the Dragon. I don't.
No, I mean, House of the Dragon, I mean, it's just, I mean, even you think of the music, they're just playing the Game of Thrones theme. I don't even know why it doesn't even have its own theme at this point. But that's neither here nor there. I mean, this season was terrible. And here's the thing though. The next House of the Dragon is not going to be the next Game of Thrones show. The next Game of Thrones show is going to be the Night of the Seven Kingdoms. And I do plan to cover that one, because I actually really like the story. I don't know if they're going to, I'm assuming they're likely, if based on this, they're going to butcher it, but I don't know. I don't even know if they announce who's going to be the showrunner for that one. So, I mean, I still want to cover it. Will I cover House of the Dragon season 3? Well, I have 2 years to think about it. Yeah. So, but the next thing that I plan on covering, next show, is actually going to be in 3 to 4 weeks. A show. We guys talked about Tolkien, right? Well, we're going to be talking about the not so Tolkien Rings of Power season 2. So, yeah. So, if you guys want to see it be eviscerated by my buddy Feanor, and I'm going to try to see if I can get a few other people, which is probably going to be impossible because nobody's going to want to watch it, and I don't blame them.
I watched it on the treadmill.
Steve, yeah, the treadmill is way more interesting
without the sound.
Without the sound,
yeah, that's that's the way I was able to bear it.
Maybe I can recruit Steve.
Probably not.
Probably not. Right.
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know. But anything that makes Amazon look worse,
that's your goal now. Just
Well,
Amazon's ruining properties, and Amazon's is doing its part to ruin entertainment. I mean, like Wheel of Time, people have been waiting decades for an adaptation of that, and they wait, and then they get that. They get what Rafe Judkins produced, and it's just not. It's not that. I mean, Robert Jordan was very detailed. He laid it all out. I mean, you could make some cuts and all that, but you could have kept the integrity of the story intact. And he didn't even do that.
But they don't even make stories that go their own story.
Because I've had my complaints about some of the things in some of the Wheel of Time books and how I think should be different. But like, I myself don't think I'm better at writing the Wheel of Time than Robert Jordan is. So I don't know why these writers, these TV writers, think they could do a better thing than what Robert Jordan did. Like,
because they
Seriously.
weren't beaten as children. They've never
Exactly.
had to face real adversity, and it's a real fucking shame. And they're going to give the whole shooting match up to communism because they're fucking retarded.
Yeah.
But I gotta go. This has been awesome. Thanks for having me on.
All right, everybody. Everybody take care. Stay corporeal, and well, have a good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night.